Let's talk to Patrick from Canada. How are you, Patrick? Can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. How you doing?
Top man. Thank you for being so patient, Patrick. How did that game look from Canada?
Oh, my God. It was a roller coaster. It was an absolute roller coaster. First half was sweet. Again, like, I can't speak enough about Archie Gray. Like, my best mate, his grandmother's a huge Leeds fan.
Okay.
And all I can think about is, he came from Leeds, the championship, a league below us, where he was used to playing midfield, started playing right back. We signed him as that kind of player. Now he's playing center back and shutting down Man United strikers. Outrageous. Like, it's absolutely outrageous. Good pair for Dragusin. I'm glad that Dragusin's staying on the right. Man, great first half. And then, holy shit. Oh, my God. Fraser Forster.
Patrick, wait, let me just interrupt because they're doing the draw now. Let me know who you want. They're doing the draw right now.
Arsenal, 100%.
Okay, first team out of the draw are Arsenal. So let's see who are going to face Arsenal. Now, Jamie Redknapp is picking this next ball. Who do you want least? Newcastle.
Yeah, likely Newcastle. I don't want to play Liverpool in the final.
It's Arsenal-Newcastle. So we've got Liverpool in a two-legged. Yeah, but I don't mind it, Patrick, because if you think about it, they're going to be gunning for the league. They're going to be gunning for the Champions League. And Spurs, should have some of our injuries back. Spurs have been drawn out first. So that presumably means we're at home first, which actually isn't good. You'd rather be at home second, probably.
Definitely. And it's also Arne Slot's first chance at silverware. I know that he's top of the league. He's doing well in Champions League, blah, blah, blah. I just don't think he'll take the competition lightly. Klopp didn't in the final. He did in the semifinal against – I guess he did play a young squad against Chelsea last year. The billion-pound bottle jobs, as Gary Neville called them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Put it this way. I think our best chance to beat Liverpool is over two legs, probably. Actually, do you know what? They have such a good record at Anfield. But for me, listen, maybe I'm being overly positive because we made it into the semi-final. But we had to beat Man City. We had to beat Man United. Now we're going to have to beat Liverpool. And I think they will realistically not play their strongest team.
Yeah, they probably won't. I will say this one thing is now Liverpool are going to exploit their really comprehensive press against Fraser Forster on Sunday.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a bloodbath potentially.
Yeah,
I'm nervous. Like our bench today, we put on Region. When did he even play last? We had one like actual senior team player. Like we are stretched.
Patrick, do you think, because Scribble Scrabble in the comments has just said, I hope tonight hasn't rocked Forster's confidence. He was doing so well for us, man. Do you think he'll be able to bounce back from that?
I really hope so. I mean, the last time I was on this show, I think it was when we drew Fulham, and I just said, like, honestly, like the big takeaway is like I'm not scared that Fraser Forster's in nets. And then like after all that, I was like, oh God, I take every word I said back. So anyway, I just hope he gets some coaching. He's a mature player. He knows that these things happen, and he's been punished before at Southampton with stuff like this. So I hope that it's just a lesson. Like he might just have to play the long bombs. No attempts at cheeky short play. Although he wasn't even playing some crazy. He wasn't being risky. He was just slow.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to choose to stick to some positivity and say I'm glad it happened when we were 3-0 up rather than in a more important situation. Yeah, I do like the idea that possibly this draw, sorry to go back to the draw, could end up with the Tottenham versus Newcastle trophy derby, where it's like Newcastle haven't won a trophy for like 60 years. Spurs haven't won a trophy since 2008. Who is gonna take home their first trophy?
Yeah, and we're both kind of like, we're both similar positions in the league. Like it would be good. It would be a good matchup. I'd like to see that at Wembley. Yeah.
I just want us to go to Wembley. I really do. Let's get back into Patrick, actually, let's go back to, everything that happened before Fraser Forster. Talk me through who you think really, was outstanding on the day for Spurs tonight.
Jed Spence was really good. Everyone's been saying it. Jed Spence was fantastic. Good close play. He was able to break through presses, like 2v1 presses. He did really well. I know a lot of people say that he should start over Udogie. I just think, like, before I was thinking we need a left back. But because Udogie doesn't really have competition. Ben Davis he's a center back now. Like he's not really considered in that conversation, but it's good that there's competition now. Like that was great. What a performance. Solanke has to be my man of the match. I know he had 2 goals, and most people are going to be talking about that, but his off the ball play is outrageous. Yeah. Like his pressing, he was coming back. Like we just seemed like we were scrambling on defense sometimes, and he was back there clearing balls. I was like, how is Solanke back here already? Like it didn't make any sense. It was amazing. And his hold-up play, you've said it 1,000 times already on the show. His hold-up play is outrageous. Better than Kane's. It's better than Kane's.
Fantastic. Yeah. And Archie, how about Archie Gray and Radu Dragusin? Props for them.
Fantastic. Yeah. Like again, like they've been playing big games, like strong performances against strong teams. Again, I'm not really afraid that we don't have our starting center backs. They're super injury prone now, and now we have like safe options at the back. Even though Archie Gray is 18, 19 years old, I didn't even know he was going to be playing as much as he is. Yeah, like it's fantastic.
Incredible. And let's give a little bit of credit, I guess, to Yves Bissouma, although he did do some wild stuff, but also like nearly scoring that own goal. But he was everywhere tonight. And I actually think he benefited from getting that rest for that suspension in the last game. Yeah, I agree. Yves Bissouma did really well. Good pressing, good interceptions. Gave the ball away in the midfield, but that's classic Yves Bissouma. And he typically makes up for it. Again, he almost had that own goal, but he was strong today. He was strong. Yeah, good performance. And I gotta say, Kulusevski, holy shit! Like, that stat this morning about the top 5 chances created since February of when he showed up or whatever, and he's number 5 in the Premier League. And like today, he created just as many chances on the ball as he did off the ball. Like he set himself up. He got Son to feed him in the right places. 3 shots on target. Great goal. Listen, I think one of the biggest credits I can give to Decky Kulusevski is he's not one of the players I've been asking everyone how they thought he played because we're so used to him playing at that level. But true. His strength, his ability to hold the ball up and bring other players in. He's I've said it before, like if he had an extra yard of pace, he would be a genuine superstar in world football. But I think the reason that he's at Spurs is because he doesn't have that extra yard of pace. So we're quite lucky. We're lucky to have him. But he said in the interview before the game, they did a big interview with him on Sky, and he said his next plan is to kind of go the next level by improving his shooting and his finishing. And I loved that he took that goal on his right foot first time. He didn't think about it, and it was a good connection. And he's improving all the time. And I could see him as a future leader of this club. He's a proper winner. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of an underdog story. He had like a bit of a shadow career at Juventus, never really played, didn't get a lot of game time. They chopped and changed managers a bit, and then we snatched him up. And that kind of happened a bit. Like he flew out of the gates, and then injuries and blah blah blah. But now he's just settled, and like, oh man, I hope he doesn't get injured because we don't have anybody like him in the squad. Right. Steve Dyer says Decky is dynamite. Be good now 5 says, to be honest, it's strange just how good most of the players were individually, but we come out scraping through, isn't it? Actually, that's a really good point because also it's almost like the in-game example of our season where it's like we score more goals than everybody else. We've got a good defensive record, but still we're 10th in the league. Whereas like today, I feel like, we scored some great goals. We're 3-0 up. Everything's fine. And then we find a way to very nearly grab defeat from the jaws of victory. What made you support Spurs in the first place, Patrick? And how do you get through this mental illness on a day-to-day basis? Oh, well, my old man was born like within a couple miles of the stadium. He's British, so I'm second gen, I guess. Yeah. Could have my passport. So by default, and of no choice of my own, and maybe to my everlasting regret, I'm a lifelong Spurs fan. But anyway, the ongoing mental illness is wild. But when the highs are high, and the lows are just absolutely rock bottom. And it is just more fun. I know I've said it already, but it's more fun now watching Spurs than it was under Conte and Jose. But of course, it does come with like that feeling like you're going to have to jump off a balcony. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if I've done this. Win. Yeah, I don't know if I've done this one yet, but Simon said Fraser actually made a couple of good saves tonight, but he should be told not to distribute Christmas presents during the game. He did. He made a huge save from the header from Xerxes, but I do have to say he was the one who kind of put us in that trouble with a dodgy kick out. It's an interesting one, and you mentioned it, but it will be interesting to see how Fraser deals with kicking it short in the Liverpool game.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna cope with that. Yeah, I mean, like, long balls might just have to be the game until he really settles into it. But the problem is we were settled in. He made good saves in the first half. He was playing okay. Like, his parries were great, like basically along the goal line in the first half. Like, all those are great. And nobody's talked about that one save that he made where he didn't even know that he was getting shot at, and he just like booted it last minute, and he had all the time in the world to do something.
Mate, I described that.
Goal number 3. Like, I couldn't.
I described that in my post-match reaction as like one of the weirdest saves I've ever seen, because I actually think that happened because his confidence was in the floor and his brain was fuzzed. He's like, it moved quite late. I think he would have probably tried to get down to it, and maybe it would have been hard to get down to because it's one of those ones that was right by his foot. You got to give him the credit for that. It's a good save in the end.
And it was a good clearance too.
Let me just ask before I let you go, mate. We're into the last couple of minutes of this now. We've talked a little bit about the Liverpool game. What is your prediction for that game?
We're at home, yeah?
We're at home, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I'm just I'll be safe and say I think we'll draw the game and we'll be happy with it. But I would love to win it. But Liverpool have so much momentum, not nearly the injuries that we do. They are just a force to be reckoned with right now.
They are, and they will make chances.
And 1-1.
They'll make chances, but I think we'll make chances as well. Patrick, you've gone for 1-1. Thanks so much for calling in, mate. Let's talk again after maybe after the Liverpool game.
Yeah, cheers. Shout out to my boys in the group chat one last time.
Top man. See you later.